Welcome back, everybody. I'm Jerry with Dub Bears Talk, and today I just have to thank every single one of you. I thanked you in the last video for hitting 100 subscribers. I wake up in the morning, my video that I just posted has 1,000 views, which is 500 more than any others at the time. And then I got a few more subscribers, and then later in the day, it's up to 4,000 views, 100 likes, and I'm up to 160 something subscribers. So thank you so much for the support. I really appreciate it. I'm going to continue to get you some Bears news that I'm not really seeing in other places. And every Bears page has their kind of thing that they talk about. Some of them will go back and forth, but I'd like to bring, a lot of that regular content that other pages are going to bring, but other, new information that maybe other people aren't looking at, or at the very least a different perspective. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate all of your feedback, and even in the comments section, a little debate in the comments section. If you don't agree, I always encourage you to comment down below, because I always love some friendly debate. No negativity though. Let's keep it positive. So thank you so much for that. And I'm going to talk about what Caleb Williams said today that I thought was very interesting. He didn't today. Said it yesterday at his pro day, and I just thought it was interesting. So let's take a look at that clip real quick.
You had Keenan Allen today. Yeah. You work with Keenan today. How do you think that relationship will blossom?
Yeah, I think it'd be great if I was blessed to be able to be #1 pick to the Chicago Bears.
Hey, what was that? I saw that. What was that? I heard you.
But I've known Keenan for a year now, I would say. Before he was not drafted, but traded to the Bears for a 4th round. And so it was pretty cool for him to come out here and show love.
So obviously this is on courtesy of the Herd with Colin Cowherd, who I'm not actually a big fan of, and he's got hot takes. He's kind of one of those typical like media guys who just spews out hot takes and gets a lot of views because division is seemingly what gets clicks nowadays. But anyway, he does ask a good question here that results in Caleb Williams saying it was more directed about Keenan Allen and the connection there. But he says he's glad that he's getting drafted #1 to the Bears, or that I think he even said was, like as if he's already been drafted. So I thought that was interesting. And does that mean that he's a lock? And that also is interesting to me. How far have the conversations gone? Because obviously the media from the outside looking in, everybody goes, the Bears just traded their starting quarterback away. They need a quarterback. Obviously they're going to take him. So it seems like it's a lock. But that comment, if like in the last video where we talk about Kirk Cousins going a little too far, Caleb Williams has basically just stated that he is going to be a Chicago Bear. And even I was entertaining the possibility that for all the people that wanted to trade back and get a haul, maybe they would trade back a pick, take Drake May, get a haul if that was the case. But I think we can pretty much clearly see that that is not going to be the case. And we are going to be getting Caleb Williams, and we are finally going to have our franchise quarterback that is surrounded by so much talent, more talent than probably any rookie quarterback. I know in a comment section on Instagram, I think I talked to somebody and they were like, oh, Brock Purdy had better weapons. But I think it's honestly kind of comparable. I guess Christian McCaffrey kind of goes above and beyond everything else. But Cole Kmet's a great tight end. Gerald Everett's a great 2. You got, Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. So I think it's huge. But so then let's talk about Keenan Allen, because that was partially what that question was about. And Caleb Williams at the pro day actually said a lot of other things in regards to his relationship with Keenan Allen. He said he's been friends with him for at least about a year. And with Keenan being in LA and Caleb also being in LA, it makes a lot of sense. But I thought that was very interesting because Keenan Allen, if he already has that relationship, what does that mean for DJ Moore? I think DJ Moore is still going to get targets, and he is still going to have a great season because he's DJ Moore, and he's been able to have phenomenal seasons with even bad quarterbacks. So I don't think there's anything to worry about there. But moving on to a little bit more about the combine, Caleb Williams also said that he got dinner with Keenan Allen, and I know Keenan Allen multiple times, and then at least one dinner with a lot of the Bears organization. I believe they had 9 people there. So I thought that was really important that he's clearly doing meeting, because people were getting on him about, oh, he's going to delay the visit to Hallis Hall. And then, oh, now, he's pushing back, and is he even going to come to Hallis Hall? We came here, we were supposed to. They brought 9 people there, and they had a lot of meetings. Yes, it would be nice for him to come to Hallis Hall, but it's kind of like, if you've already met the guy enough and you've had enough of the interactions, does he necessarily need to come there? I do think it would be good, and I guess I wouldn't look at it negatively. I think it would just be good for him to see the environment he's going to be in. You get a fresh look and an early look at where you're going to be moving forward. So I think it would be valuable for him and for the Bears, but I'm not going to knock it. For instance, Marvin Harrison Jr., he didn't work out at the Combine or at the Pro Day. He didn't do anything of any of those. And a lot of people, that were kind of on the Caleb Williams side from the beginning, were saying, oh, look, Marvin Harrison, he's not even doing the Pro Day either. But he asked the 9 teams that he met with, and none of them said they needed him to perform at the Pro Day. So he had no reason to. I don't really look at that as a negative, because that's how the situation went. Then, let's move on to the actual Combine. A lot of smooth, clean passes from Caleb Williams. He throws the ball just very effortlessly. It seems to just like fly out of his hand. He can make these really far, really deep, accurate throws seemingly without much effort. So I really like to see that. He did miss probably about 3 passes, and then that was another thing. When asked about, how do you think you did today, that was one of the first thing he said. He said, I missed, 3 or 4 passes. There was a bomb deep that he overthrew. There was one where he didn't really give the wide receiver an opportunity to back shoulder it or, turn the other way and catch it. So it made it a difficult ball. And then there was a low pass on, I believe it was an out route or a drag route, to the side, where it was a very low ball. But other than that, it was all on as it should be, and everything was on target. So I don't think that the Pro Day was a huge, I don't think he would have thrown even more bad passes. I don't think we would have went, oh, should we even take him? I don't think this day was going to affect it. Where I actually think it affected it even more was seeing him after the throwing and the interactions he was having with his teammates. He seemed to have a celebration or some sort of a handshake with a bunch of other players on the team, and was very clearly involved, having a good time, laughing. And a lot of people like to question his leadership and how he is with the teammates. How's the locker room going to be? Seems like it's going to be just fine based on what we've seen. I didn't see him doing anything better or worse than the times with Justin Fields. People were saying, oh, everybody loved Justin Fields in the locker room. And then also that kind of comes to the comment that Jalen Johnson made about, this Hollywood shit ain't going to fly. You're going to need to leave that behind you or whatever. It wasn't quite that aggressive. I'm not quoting him exactly, but you know what I mean. He kind of made a bit of a bold statement saying that the Hollywood stuff gets left behind when you come here. We expect you to work, and I respect that, and I think that makes sense for Jalen Johnson, just kind of setting an expectation. And I don't think Caleb Williams is going to have a problem with that, especially, people are saying Chicago, big city. He's been in the spotlight, and he's been one of the most famous college athletes, next to Caitlin Clark, and probably that's about it, honestly. So I think that he's going to be okay. I don't think that that's a problem. And I think everything will be just fine. We were talking about the wide receivers between Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Well, I've seen, and actually a lot in the comments, a lot of people were saying we need to target a wide receiver. And I don't necessarily I wouldn't mind it. If Odunze's there and we can take him, absolutely, I'm fine with taking him. For me personally, I would rather take an edge rusher, because I believe that in pretty much every draft class, especially in recent history, there has been not much depth as far as edge rusher. If you look at the top edge rushers in the league, they've all been in the league for 4 or 5 years or more. And in recent history, there hasn't been those shining stars. There's Micah Parsons. Will Anderson was just okay. And then Aiden Hutchinson. Those are kind of your big names. from recent history. And Dallas Turner is getting talked about like he could be better than Will Anderson. And I personally really like Jared Verse. I think he's probably one of the strongest defensive linemen, especially for his speed, or I should say edge rushers, for the speed that he still has coming off the edge. And I think that could be very valuable. And in Shane Waldron's system, he runs the highest percentage of 21 personnel, which is 2 tight ends. And so 2 tight ends, 1 running back. That's what the 2-1 in 21 stands for. 1-1 is 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, and then so on, so forth. Shane Waldron runs the most 21 personnel, meaning that more than, I think it was pretty much there might have been like 1 coach that calls more, but he was towards the top of calling a play where in our case, it's going to be Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Gerald Everett, and Cole Kmet, and then DeAndre Swift or insert running back here. I think they should all get some touches in the rotation, but that's going to be a large majority of it. Because that's the case, I'm okay with missing on a receiver, especially with how many receivers there seemingly is in every single draft class. If you think about recent history, who are the younger wide receiver talents? Okay, we got Justin Jefferson, we got Jamar Chase, Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. There's a bunch more. I mean, just you could probably list the names off yourself. I don't have them listed here, but you can just keep thinking of names, and there's a lot of very talented Puka Nacua last year, obviously a 5th round. But I just think in this particular draft and most drafts in history and moving forward, the wide receivers have been a lot better, and there's been a lot more, and they almost become a little bit more of a not disposable position because you need them, and the Bears haven't had them until DJ Moore. But I just think, there's less people that are hitting the home run ball on an edge rusher versus on the wide receiver. So that's why I think it's more important. I also think it leaves you with the opportunity to get, in my opinion, the best case scenario, which is you get Brendan Rice. I think he's being projected. So far, it's been 3rd to 4th round. He definitely could move up to a 2nd to 3rd round projection. But the Bears do have a very early pick in the 3rd round. And I think you have an opportunity to get Brendan Rice there. I think if you can get Brendan Rice at that 3rd round pick, that's a no-brainer. I think you have to take him just because that's Caleb's guy from high school or from college. It's also, he's 6'4", 210, so he's a big target. Don't have many of those. Obviously, we have Cole Kmet and then Gerald Everett's like 6'3". Keenan Allen, I believe, is 6'2". But you've got a bigger target in Brendan Rice, who also just so happens to be Jerry Rice's son. So I think lining all that up, I think that's just a no-brainer move. You go Caleb Williams, you get the top defensive prospect, insert name here, whoever you think it is, then you get Brendan Rice in the 3rd. With the 4th round pick, you probably take a swing on a center. It's probably you just take a swing on a center is how I would do it personally. We don't have a lot of draft capital left over. I also wouldn't be opposed to a trade back. And I think even you wide receiver wanting fans at that 9th pick wouldn't be opposed if Odunze is gone. Likely means all 3 edge rushers are there. Why not trade back 4 or 5 picks and then take one there? Because they're likely not all going to go. I think I would be happy with Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, or Laiatu Latu. I like him too. He moves very quick for his size. He's had injury issues, but he has been a dominant force as well. So if you think you can trade back, you wouldn't be getting quite the haul that you'd get for trading back for 1, but you definitely get more draft capital this year to fill more spots. I think that would be a huge move, especially if all 3 edge rushers are there, unless they believe that there's one edge rusher that is significantly higher than the rest. But I'm really high on Brendan Rice. Him and Caleb are also best friends, and it just seems like that is a perfect scenario. Now, Brendan Rice was asked if he could take someone to the NFL with him, who would it be? And he actually didn't say Caleb Williams. He said it would either be Taj Washington or, his guys from the receiving room. And which I thought was interesting. I don't think that it's a big thing that anybody has to worry about because on the field, you saw them, they're clearly friends. And I think it would be a match made in heaven to have them come back together in the NFL. You typically can't get your star quarterback's favorite target in the third round or so. So having that opportunity, I think that's way better than taking Odunze, especially because you're getting Dallas Turner. Again, I can listen to taking Odunze or Neighbors if somehow they're both there. I don't see how, two of them are going to be gone. So Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to go at 4, and then one of the other receivers is going to go at 5 to the Chargers because they currently only have 2 on their roster, none that are very great. So that is just going to happen. I think the Giants have a big need. Their top receivers, Wan'Dale Robinson, I think is their wide receiver 1. So they clearly need help there too. And, the last video was about the Falcons. I don't see the Falcons taking a pick, so I don't even think the moving up one spot really helps. I see a lot more opportunity, with taking a edge rusher. So like I said, if Odunze or Neighbors are there and they take them, I'll be happy about it. I'll be like, holy shit, we have 2-star wide receivers. We have a very talented rookie prospect with a rookie quarterback. I'd be happy about it. But I also wouldn't be happy if the defensive line takes a step back and we now didn't address that issue and we have a problem there. So I still think I think we need to build in the trenches a little bit more, and I would personally take Dallas Turner. But I think the most important part of this video is that Caleb Williams is going to be a Bear, and we have a lot of options as far as what we can do with the other picks. Caleb looked great for the pro day. He was having a lot of fun. The personal handshakes, I think it all looked great. I think it helped Caleb Williams' stock as well as helped the Bears choose him. Not that Caleb Williams' stock couldn't necessarily go up anymore. But let me know what you think down below. I know we already had some of these conversations in the comments, but I'm open to more discussion. If you have a good reasoning as to why you think wide receiver needs to be the pick over edge rusher, I am happy to listen to it. Right now, I'm still team edge rusher. But that's all. That's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching. And again, thank you for all the love on the last video. It was greatly appreciated. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this one. Thank you for watching, and bear down.